Good day, educators. This is Helian Johnson from Educanda. Today we're talking handwriting. Isn't it just terrible when you have to mark papers and you can't read what they've written? Your learners, that is. When you have to decipher whether it's an 8 or a 5 or a 3 in the maths paper. I know, it's just terrible, and teachers complain about it all the time. So let's have a look at handwriting and unpack how it develops, what it's about, and then see how we can support learners with illegible handwriting. Now, first of all, in this video, we're going to look at 5 very definite aspects. We're going to see why handwriting is important. We're going to look at foundation phase and see how writing develops. And we're also going to see what behavior you find in class when learners are battling with writing. And we'll also talk about left-handers. They do pose a bit of a problem. And then we'll also discuss some support that you can give to learners when they battle with their handwriting. All right, so let's start at the top. First of all, the importance of handwriting relies on the fact that we need to communicate with our learners and they communicate with us. So we write on the blackboard and they copy into their textbooks. So it's important for us to have text to mark, so they need to write that. It's our tool for evaluation. When we look at their tests, it's something that we need to be able to mark. And that's always where the big problem starts, when we can't read what they've written. Writing is an expression of emotion. The way we write, for instance, a composition, it's conveying exactly how we feel, and also very important, it assists with reading skills. The learner who has written out his spelling is more likely to remember his spelling words than the one who typed it. And then lastly, maybe not that important, but something to keep in mind is that whenever somebody looks at writing, you make a subjective assessment of their level of literacy. You wouldn't want to send your learners into the world thinking that, well, people looking at their work and thinking that they're fairly illiterate. Now, the next section that we're going to discuss is the foundations underpinning handwriting. And in CAPS, there's very little time allocated to practice handwriting. We do see that in the Grade R syllabus, time is allocated for pre-writing skills, and it's incorporated in the creative work, and that does very well. But once the learner reaches Grade 1, Grade 2, and Grade 3, we only have the language lessons to practice the writing in. And that does not always leave us with enough time. So we need to make more time, and later on in the video I will discuss which lessons you could use for that. Let's do a practical. I want you to look at the word on the screen and then try and write it, writing from the right to the left of the page in mirror image. Write the word Mississippi and see how you cope with that. You can do it in cursive, you can do it in print font. That's not important, but I just want you to try that. And if you want to make it even harder for yourself, you could wear a glove or you could blindfold yourself. Would be an interesting experiment. At this stage, you need to switch off the video or pause it so that you have time to do this practical. How did that feel? It's not so easy, quite difficult to write in a different direction than what you're normally used to, and having to really focus to form the letters correctly. Did you write legible? Did you write neatly? Do you see your spacing problems? Yep, those all come with learning to write. When it's a new skill, it's really hard, and it takes a lot of fine coordination to manage that. And did you have some reversals as well? They often happen. So we're going to talk about how it happens that when we learn a new handwriting or a new font, all the aspects that we need to have together and organized in our brains to be able to learn that font or that handwriting. In the next video, we will concentrate on what underlies good handwriting and how it develops.